Mike Moore Media.
Our Stokesdale update is sponsored by Buy Right Supermarket, Crossroads Pharmacy, and PSI, Pump Pipe Sales and Service. More about them later. Right now, we check in with our friend Frank Bruno, former member of the Stokesdale Town Council. He's the man we go to when we want to know what's happening around Stokesdale, all of the different events, very involved in the community. Hey, Frank, welcome back. How are you?
Hey, great to be back. Appreciate you having me.
Well, there's not a lot happening, actually, when I say you're the person we need to talk to when it comes to events, and unable to do the farmers market today. That's every Wednesday, but I understand you've gotten off to a good start here this month.
Yeah, it's been pretty good. You know, we've had we started May 6th, and we've had a pretty good turnout. It'll build as we go. Mm-hmm. We know we'll have more. And even myself, I grow a lot of vegetables. And as that stuff comes in, end of May, June, we'll have a lot more people out there. But the last couple of weeks we've had more vendors each week. And we had a pretty good turnout of citizens last week.
Mm-hmm,
so that was nice. Today, of course, with the rain, it's, you never know. There might be a diehard one or two that go out there. But I sent out the email that we're going to, pass on it today, and we'll be back next week. But every Wednesday, 4 to 7 at the park. And we've got a pretty good following right now, so it should be pretty good.
Okay, yeah. Well, we're just getting into the growing season, and the rains will help things even more. So that's going to be nice as it goes along. Okay, that's every Wednesday.
And what we've been telling people too is I know we marketed it as a farmers market, mm-hmm. but it's it's pretty much a farmers and craft market.
Okay.
So we've got everything out there from, of course, the vegetables. Everybody's got their eggs, of course, each week, but gift baskets. We've got some people who sell their own homemade sauces, homemade preserves, stuff like that. Any kind of crafters that want to come out, anybody who basically has their own home business is welcome to come out. Anybody who's got a retail business is welcome to set up a tent. The nice thing about it is it's free, and we just want everybody to have a way that they can sell their products and get more exposure to people. And I know one of the things we've been missing now is, of course, with all the shutdown stuff, is we typically have the soccer teams out there doing their practices. Mm-hmm. And I looked at their website. It looks like they're starting up again June 1st.
Oh, good.
So we'll have more activity at the park starting then, so that'll be good for the vendors. So I don't know exactly how they're going about it at this point. I know the governor apparently is going through the phase 2 opening starting Friday, mm-hmm. which gets people out there. I don't know about you. I think we mentioned this last time we spoke, but I go out a lot because me being a financial advisor, technically I'm an essential worker.
Yeah.
But I do have places I need to go. Mm-hmm. And when I've stopped into, say, a grocery store, a large box store like a Lowe's Hardware, I went to Sam's Club by mistake last week, and I say by mistake because the place was packed with people.
Wow.
So I feel really bad. I work with a lot of small business owners, and I know most of the people in Stokesdale are small business owners. They need to get open again. Mm-hmm. So mm-hmm. Just, like I tell people, be careful. I visit a lot of houses. Basically what I do is I travel to people's houses all the time, mm-hmm. just to make it easier on their businesses.
Yeah.
And even during flu season, I always ask, hey, is anybody at your house sick? Because I don't want to bring that home to my family.
No.
So I tell people, just, be smart. I think most Americans are pretty smart. I know most of the citizens of Stokesdale are pretty smart. So mm-hmm. If you're sick, stay home. It's pretty much, a typical thing. So,
yeah.
But it's nice to see the people out there at the market. And like I said, we'll see it grow over the next couple of weeks. So once we get mid-June and we see all those vegetables come in, we'll have a lot more vendors out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. Well, we're promoting that here on a regular basis, so we'll continue to do that. And I know you do have some long-range plans in place for events in Stokesdale, looking several months or more down the way on the calendar, because nearby months things have been canceled all around, haven't they?
Yeah, and it's it's actually interesting to see. I was reading something about, Raleigh canceling, 4th of July already. And I'm thinking, and a lot of people are canceling things for September. I think that's very premature at this point.
Mm-hmm.
We still have, the 9/11 ceremony we do every year, usually has maybe 20, 30 people. So, and we'll do that at the town hall. That's still scheduled and on the schedule. I believe that's a Friday. We do that at 11 a.m. It's usually about a half-hour ceremony. So that's still on the calendar. Our September 19th event, which is the 160th anniversary celebration, is still on the calendar. There's no reason we see at this point to not have it. We'll have, again, it'll be vendors, we'll have games, we'll have bounce houses. By then everything should be pretty much fully open.
I hope so. Yeah.
And anybody who's planned large events, I used to work a lot with myself and my wife planning the March of Dimes events each year. And when you had that event in November, you took about 2 or 3 weeks off, and then you started again for the next November.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's a much larger undertaking, but with something like this, we've been planning it for the last several months, but now is really the time to start doing the major stuff.
Yeah.
So we'll be putting out we'll have vendor applications, which I believe are already maybe on the website. If not, they will be in June. And we'll also be looking for sponsors for that. So we'll be going out looking for sponsors starting in June.
Mm-hmm.
And again, as I always say, any volunteers who want to help are always welcome. The event this year is going to be scheduled pretty much an all-day event. So it'll be 10 a.m. till probably 4 or 5 p.m. in the afternoon. And we're going to put together games for kids, for adults, all kinds of stuff. So we will need volunteers to help us pretty much put those on. And we'll need volunteers to help with parking. Basically we're going to take up a small part of the parking lot down by the fields in the park.
Mm-hmm.
So there'll be limited parking there. We'll have parking at the town hall, but we're going to have people out there helping park, so we will need people to help volunteer for that. And, like I said, anybody who can help out, we would appreciate it. So, but we'll get more information about that out. We'll, as far as I know, and again, I have to guess at this point because you never know what our governor might do. We will have an events committee meeting next month. It's typically the week before our town council meeting, so we'll announce that once we know the date. And then we'll kind of talk more about volunteers, events, what we're going to need. We do have, again, then after that, the big things are going to be the tree lighting and the Christmas parade. And I know it's funny to talk about Christmas parade in May.
Yeah.
But again, all of this takes planning, and you don't just do it a week or two beforehand. So we're looking for more the last couple of years, we've had a great group of volunteers come out and help us. And anybody who can do that, we appreciate it. Most of the help for our parade is actually the day of the parade. A lot of the planning and back office stuff gets done by the staff at Town Hall. Helps a lot with that.
Mm-hmm.
So we do need people for that day, and it's kind of a great job, to tell you the truth, because you kind of get to sit on. Most people just stand on the street and watch the parade. So it's not a bad thing to volunteer to help us out with. So we'd appreciate anybody with that. But I'll have those dates for the events committee meeting once we know we can actually have an events committee meeting.
Okay.
And that'll be usually the town hall meeting is the second Thursday of the month.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be in June. I'm talking about June now.
June 11th, then.
Meeting,
okay.
Yeah, technically would probably be the week before that. So, and again, I'll have to know quick because we want to get that out as soon as possible.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we're still full force. The only event we kind of put on hold right now, and we'll look more at this. Maybe something we do in the fall. We had talked about doing movies in the park, doing maybe a Friday night movie or a Saturday night movie every couple of weeks or maybe once a month in the park, and we've kind of held off on that right now. That may still be something we do in August, starting in August. But again, we have to see, what our regulations are going to be, if there's going to be any, especially being done at a town park, there's a little different ways we do things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's still a possibility, but we'll know more about that when we talk in June. We'll know more about that.
Okay, very good.
So yeah, I'm still planning events.
Well, you've got to, like you say, people come to the events and enjoy them and say, "Oh, that was great, had a great time," but they don't know that it's months and months, sometimes, like you say, a year in advance in planning a lot of things, at least.
Yeah. So it does take some work. So and like I said, I'll keep putting this stuff out on we've got the Stokesdale Now Facebook page, and I also get on that Nextdoor app and put stuff out on that for people to keep them involved. So if anybody, if they go on and like the Stokesdale Now Facebook page, they'll get all this information also.
Yeah, that's a good source of information on Facebook. Stokesdale Now. Yeah, I was just on that right before we started talking. Yeah, and
there hasn't been a lot to put on it recently, but as we get that, and I also tell people if you're having events, and I haven't gotten a lot of these recently, but of course with everything that's going on. But if you're having an event at your church, if you're doing anything that's a community event, just send it to me and I'll post it for you on there.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that site was for. It's what I call the fun site for Stokesdale.
Mm-hmm. It's really a community bulletin board.
That's what it is. So there's we don't deal and I've had a couple recently, some political comments, and I have taken them off.
Mm-hmm.
We do not, we don't want that. It's a fun thing.
Yeah.
So some people don't understand that, but hey, for most people are pretty good about it. So, if you do have any events, town events, anything that community events, let me know, and I will put it on that site and announce it for everybody.
Okay. So Stokesdale Now is the Facebook page. Yeah. And getting back to volunteers, and I know we've talked about that repeatedly over the years we've been doing the program, but always looking for people to help. And what's the best way to reach out and contact you, Frank?
Actually, they can go through the town hall, and we usually tell people that. But really, if they want to call me or email me directly, that's fine.
Okay.
Because a lot of times it's easier then I can actually talk to the person and find out what they, what can you contribute, and then get you on the mailing list.
Mm-hmm.
What happens sometimes when you go through a third party, that information doesn't get here quick enough.
Yeah.
But if people want to call me directly, or if they want to email me directly, that's fine, and I can talk to them about it. So my contact information has been everywhere, but my direct number is 337-847-8473. Or you can email me. I think I still have the town email, which is fbruno@stokesdale.org.
Okay.
So they can send me emails directly there, and I'll get those. So. Great.
Okay.
Yeah.
All righty. Well, I know you've got a fundraiser that's kind of in the works too. Tell us about that.
Yeah, this is interesting because the gentleman at the fire department in Stokesdale had come to me and asked me if this is something we could get involved with, and I know it's been done mostly in the cities, in Greensboro and in High Point. But what we're trying to do is we'd like to offer a free lunch to firefighters, sheriff deputies, EMS workers, doctors, nurses, and have those box lunches put together where those guys would just pretty much drive up to the Stokesdale Fire Department and pick them up.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd love to do it within the next couple of weeks, definitely by the first week in June if possible. And we don't have a lot. When we looked at the numbers, we're looking at between maybe 50 and 70 individuals we'd have to feed. So if we could raise between, say, $500 and $600 to do this, it's something that we could get done pretty quick.
Yeah.
And there's several ways. I've talked to a couple of people businesses who may be interested. There's several ways they can participate. If they want to when we come up with the vendor that we're going to use, if they want to pay that vendor directly, that's great. That's fine. If they just want to make a donation to do this, we do have the Four Corners Chamber of Commerce set up, and that is set up as a nonprofit, and they can make their checks out to Four Corners Chamber of Commerce and make sure they put in the memo line that it's for this lunch, and we will make sure they get kind of credit. We'll do some advertising and let people know who the contributors were that helped with this event.
Mm-hmm.
So again, either way is fine with us. We just want to be able to put that together and get that done over the next couple of weeks so we can get that out to everybody. If we do collect a little more money than we need for that event, we will take that